welcome to this deep dive.
Yep.
So you're likely here because you're, well, either already doing the solopreneur thing or maybe seriously thinking about it,
Mhm.
and you want the real story
Right.
without wading through tons of articles.
Exactly. And that's what we're aiming for today. We're really jumping into the unique world of being a solo business owner.
Okay.
We've looked at pieces from Forbes, The Successful Founder, and a blog post from amazing.com too.
Good stuff.
Yeah, the goal is really to pull out the most important bits about being a solopreneur now in 2025. You know, the good stuff, but also the hurdles you might face.
Without getting lost in the weeds.
Precisely. Keep it focused.
All right, so let's start right at the beginning. Solopreneur. What does that actually mean today?
Well, at its core, it's someone who builds and runs their business entirely on their own, single-handedly.
Just them.
Just them. And it's become much more common. Our sources show it's really grown, especially in 2025.
Why now, do you think?
A few things, really. Technology makes it easier. The gig economy is, well, huge. And there's this strong desire people have for independence, autonomy.
Yeah, the independence thing, it comes up a lot. What are the concrete benefits people are chasing? What do the sources highlight?
Okay, so control and autonomy, they're huge. One study we saw, 97% cited autonomy as a top reason.
Wow, 97%.
Yeah. It means you have, total control over the decisions. You can line up your work with your own values, your goals.
Your vision?
Exactly. Freedom in branding, choosing clients, picking projects you actually want to do.
And taking risks.
That too. You can be a bit more adventurous, maybe. Take calculated risks without needing a committee's okay.
Right, you're the committee.
You are the committee.
It's that feeling of being in charge, isn't it?
Yeah.
And I guess that control affects other parts of the work, too.
Oh, absolutely. Flexibility is another massive plus.
How so?
Well, you set your own hours, usually, and the sources link this directly to better work-life balance, less stress, maybe more job satisfaction overall.
Makes sense.
And you're more agile. You can, pivot quickly if an opportunity pops up. Adapt.
And work when you're actually productive, not just 9 to 5.
Mm-hmm. If you're a night owl, you work at night. If you're an early bird, you start early. It's about your rhythm.
So it's not just what you do, but the how and when. The sources also talked about running the show your way. What does that really mean day to day?
It's about injecting your personality, your style into everything. Like one source put it, you're the boss of your own thing, not working to someone else's tune.
You're building your own dream, not someone else's.
Exactly. And there's a real sense of accomplishment in that. Building something from nothing, being your own boss, that's a big emotional reward, the sources mentioned.
Definitely hits that entrepreneurial nerve.
Yeah.
What about the practical side? Finances.
Yeah, good point. Lower overhead is often a big advantage.
No employee costs, benefits, that kind of thing.
Right. Fewer salaries, fewer HR headaches maybe. So potentially you keep more of the profit.
And decisions get made faster.
Much faster. No layers of management to go through. So you can react to market changes, boom, just like that.
The sources also mentioned something interesting about that lower overhead. In 2025, it wasn't just cost saving.
Right. It was also about agility. Fewer fixed costs means you can, experiment more.
Yeah.
Try new things without betting the farm. Adapt faster than bigger players.
Okay, so a lot of pull factors there. Control, flexibility, doing it your way, maybe better financials, agility. But let's be real. It's not all sunshine and roses. What challenges did the sources bring up?
Definitely not. Loneliness is a big one. That feeling of isolation.
Working alone all day.
Yeah. There's no built-in team to, bounce ideas off, share the load, or just vent to when things are tough.
So how do people cope?
The sources suggest being proactive. Connect with other solopreneurs. Join communities, online or offline. Maybe use a co-working space sometimes just for the human interaction.
Right, find your tribe. What about strategy? Big picture stuff.
That's another hurdle. Limited strategic support. You don't have that built-in sounding board.
So you might miss things.
You might. You risk missing different perspectives, maybe overlooking bigger market trends because you're so, deep in the day-to-day.
The solutions for that.
Building your own, personal board of advisors was suggested. Or getting mentors, coaches, people outside your bubble to give you that perspective.
Add accountability. Hard to stay on track with no boss.
Very true. Joining a peer advisory group was one suggestion there. You hold each other accountable.
Okay. What other sort of operational challenges pop up?
Oh, the classic jack of all trades problem. Operational overload.
You have to do everything.
Everything. Product, service, sales, billing, marketing, admin. The whole nine yards.
Exhausting.
It can be. So you really have to figure out what your most valuable tasks are, the strategic stuff, and then delegate or outsource the rest if you can.
Easier said than done sometimes, letting go.
Tell me about it, especially early on.
The sources also mentioned using personal money for longer.
Yeah, bootstrapping. Many solopreneurs rely on their own savings for quite a while.
But there's a downside.
Well, it can limit growth. The sources suggested looking into third-party funding sometimes, not just for the cash, but for the expertise and connections it can bring.
Right, smart money.
Mm.
And with all this pressure on one person, burnout must be a huge risk.
Absolutely massive. You've got the financial risk, no safety net, plus the tendency to just work constantly,
Become a workaholic.
easily, and that leads to exhaustion, lower quality work. It's a spiral, finding balance, knowing when maybe you do need help, maybe even hire someone that's key for staying in the game long term.
What about the creative side? Does working alone affect, like, brainstorming?
It can, yeah. That lack of spontaneous back and forth. Bringing ideas fully to life might feel harder without collaborators to riff with.
So again, networks help.
Definitely. Building those trusted peer networks. Maybe even finding strategic partners for certain projects.
Okay, and then there's the less fun stuff. Finances, taxes.
Ugh, yes. Financial management, big responsibility. Tracking everything, paying taxes correctly, managing cash flow. It's tough if you don't have a finance background.
So get help.
Highly recommended by the sources. Get an accountant. Use good software, something. Don't wing it.
Time management feels like another big one. Just juggling everything.
Constant battle. The workload can be intense, blurring the lines between work and life.
So what helps there?
Prioritizing ruthlessly, setting realistic goals, not trying to boil the ocean. Time blocking can work well for some people too. Structure your day.
And finding clients, partners. Networking must be different when it's just you.
It can be harder, yeah. No team spreading the word, so you have to be intentional. Use online tools, join industry groups, go to virtual events maybe, do direct outreach. Put yourself out there.
Technology, too, it changes so fast. Is keeping up a challenge.
For sure, especially if you're not naturally tech savvy, figuring out the right tools, actually using them effectively, it takes effort.
What's the advice?
Invest wisely in tech that actually helps you. Don't just chase shiny objects, and get expert advice if you're stuck.
Okay, what if things go well, you start growing? Can you scale as a solopreneur?
That's a bottleneck. Limited scalability is kind of inherent. It's just you.
So you hit a ceiling.
You can, but one strategy is building a network of reliable freelancers or contractors, people with specialized skills you can bring in for projects.
Ah, like a flexible virtual team.
Kind of, yeah. Lets you take on bigger things without hiring full-time staff right away.
We talked about passion driving people. But passion doesn't always mean business savvy, right?
Exactly. You might love, say, graphic design, but know nothing about legal compliance or bookkeeping.
Which are pretty important.
Crucial. So the advice again is automate or outsource that stuff, use apps, hire a virtual assistant, whatever it takes. Focus on what you do best.
One last challenge mentioned was lacking a real support system. Someone who gets it.
Yeah, that's more on the emotional side. Friends and family might try, but they don't always understand the day-to-day grind, the specific pressures.
It can feel isolating even if you're not technically alone.
One interesting idea floated was exploring franchising. Gives you some independence, but with a built-in community and playbook. Not for everyone, but an option.
Okay, wow. Lots of challenges to navigate. So
Yeah.
flipping it around, what are the big overarching strategies for success that came through?
Okay, number one, prioritization. You absolutely have to focus on what matters most. Can't do everything.
Weeding out the busy work.
Exactly. Then, delegation and outsourcing, like we talked about, free up your time for the core stuff.
That work.
Build a strong network, hugely important. Peers, mentors, potential collaborators. That's your support system, your idea board, your opportunity source.
And technology.
Yeah.
You mentioned investing wisely.
Yeah, leverage it. Automation tools for repetitive tasks, maybe AI platforms for certain things now. Good cloud software is key.
Like CRM. What's that again?
Customer relationship management software to help you manage interactions with clients, potential clients, keep track of conversations, personalize things. Really useful when you're juggling all those relationships yourself.
Okay. Marketing automation, e-commerce platforms too, I guess.
All those tools that help you run smoother, reach further without needing a huge team.
What skills should solopreneurs really focus on developing?
A few core ones. Marketing, you got to get clients. Financial management got to stay profitable, project management got to deliver, and time management got to stay sane.
And standing out. How do you do that alone?
Build a strong personal brand. Be clear about what you do, who you help. Be consistent online. Build that credibility so clients find you.
What about when growth does happen? How do you manage that without imploding?
Scale sustainably. Set boundaries. Protect your time and energy. Don't just say yes to everything.
Know your limits.
And know when to get professional help. Maybe a business coach, a better accountant, tech support. Invest in support as you grow.
Right. So wrapping this up, it seems like solopreneurship. It offers this amazing freedom, lots of potential, but you've got to go in eyes wide open about the
Yeah,
challenges.
exactly. It's not just about the dream, it's about the reality. Understanding both sides, the benefits and the drawbacks, is crucial. And then being proactive, using strategies, getting support.
It's about being intentional, resourceful.
Building something sustainable, not just burning yourself out.
This was really useful. And for you listening, whether you're deep in it or just curious, maybe think about which of those challenges really hit home for you.
Yeah, good question.
And what's maybe one small thing, one tiny step you could take today to start addressing it. Could be, messaging another solopreneur or just looking up one of those automation tools we mentioned.
Something actionable.
Exactly. Because as we've heard, there's a lot to this solo journey. Keep exploring, keep learning,